Welcome back to Fox 43 AM Live. Join us now are Dr. Jessica Zito and Dr. Stephanie Durbin from Small Animal Emergency Services with Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you.
I want to start out, tell us about your roles in kind of small animal emergency medicine. Jessica, would you like to start us off?
Yeah. So I'm a clinical assistant professor in small animal emergency, and I have a couple of different roles. So my main clinical role is to train the small animal rotating interns and the fourth-year vet students as they rotate through the emergency service. So we operate kind of like any human ER where we see different kinds of emergencies from the community, and we kind of navigate through those situations with the students and the interns to treat those cases. And then I'm also the course coordinator for a second-year class called Basic Emergency and Critical Care, and I lecture on various topics. Some examples are triage in the emergency room, point-of-care ultrasound, sepsis, and several different things like that.
A lot on your plate. Wow. Yeah. What about you, Stephanie?
Yeah, so I've been the course coordinator for the emergency rotation for our seniors since about 2019, and I graduated from K-State Vet Med as well. So I teach a variety of classes, toxicology, neonatal medicine, a few different things like that. But most of our job for both of us is having the students follow us around, and we are actually seeing a lot of cases, and the students work them with us so they can learn how to be a good emergency doctor in the future.
Great, yes. As a pet owner, I'm glad you guys are out there helping us with our emergencies.
Yeah.
And how did you decide to kind of put a focus on emergency services?
Yeah, so I was a general practitioner for the first 3 years. I worked in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I worked in Junction City, Kansas, and then I had a lot of emergency experience in those jobs, and when the position opened up at K-State, it seemed like a great fit for me, and yeah, it's been a huge learning experience. We never know what's going to come through the door, so it's a pretty exciting job. Yeah, there's always something new to learn.
Wow. And how about you, Jessica? What brought you here?
Yeah, so after I graduated vet school, I came out to KSU to do a small animal rotating internship, and that is a year-long internship where we rotate through the different kind of specialty services. So there's internal medicine, surgery, cardiology, and I just felt really at home in the ER, and I just, like Dr. Durbin said, loved how we see so much variety of cases, and I also really loved the teaching opportunities that I had in the ER. So I like that it keeps me on my toes. I have to stay up to date on pretty much everything because we never know what's going to happen, so really enjoyed it and thought that I would stick around.
And with such a variety of cases, what's the most common cases you see in the emergency room?
Yeah, we see a lot of vomiting and diarrhea. So GI upset is super common. We see neurological emergencies. Seizures are really common. Disc herniation is really common. We see also different kinds of toxicology or toxicity cases. So we see quite a bit of animals that either eat their owner's pills or they eat food that they weren't supposed to. And also a lot of trauma cases. So dogs and cats that get hit by cars, broken legs, dog attacks, or other animal attacks. So quite the variety.
Wow, yeah. Stephanie, what recommendation do you have for kind of pet owners to try to avoid needing emergency services?
Yeah, and that's a huge question, a really important one. I think the first thing is for owners to follow up with their primary care vets regularly. So yearly vaccines are really important to prevent disease. If they notice that something's wrong, they should contact their primary care vet. We really rely on our local community veterinarians to keep our pets healthy. If they do have an emergency, they should, come in and see us as soon as possible rather than waiting. I always recommend people have a few $1,000s saved up so that they can pay for it, which is another really difficult thing for a lot of families. But really practical things would be make sure your dog's on a leash and your fence is secured so they're not running away, getting in the street. Keeping your home medications locked up. We see a lot of toxicities with dogs eating heart medications, or Adderall is a really common one, so keeping those out of their reach is really important.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
And okay, as a pet owner, I am curious about how soon we should bring our pet in there. You kind of said right away. I know a lot of people are like, oh, he can weather this, or maybe he'll be okay in a couple of days.
Yeah, and that's
recommended, not recommended.
Yeah, so you have to use your best judgment. I know that's hard because you haven't gone to vet school, but you know, we do allow people to call us and go through a nurse triage type system. And if you are truly worried that you have an emergency, you can call and find out if you need to head over.
Okay. Great to know. As people are there backing us up anyway. And I guess, you know, Jessica, how do you train students in such a fast-paced environment?
Yeah. So like I said earlier, we never know what's going to come through the door, so we kind of have to be prepared for anything, which is really exciting for the students, but sometimes nerve-wracking too, because this is often their first kind of experience in the ER. So we really encourage students to take ownership of their cases. They're the ones that will be speaking with the owners first to get a history on what's going on with their pet. They'll do their exams on the pet, and then we really encourage them to think about what diagnostics would they want to recommend, and they get to participate in doing those diagnostics and doing technical skills like placing catheters, placing urinary catheters, and then we really encourage them to be involved kind of with the treatment and care of the pet. So a lot of it is very hands-on and kind of on the go, but we also do topic rounds when possible. We like to run on CPR, ultrasound in the ER, and just kind of really take any learning opportunity when we can. It's very usually just like everybody come together, let's talk about this really quick, and kind of the students can teach each other the things that they've learned too.
That's great. And Stephanie, real fast, how should people contact the K-State Veterinary Health Center if they think their pet may be experiencing an emergency?
Yeah, they can definitely call us. I think that's probably the best way. Call us, we will chat with you and let you know if we think it's an emergency. There are several other emergency clinics within the state of Kansas. Topeka has one, Kansas City, Wichita. So if you need to go somewhere closer, we'll let you know. But our doors are always open. I think that's the most important thing. Like, we never close.
Fantastic.
So we're available all the time.
No, I absolutely love that. Again, like, you never know when one of our loved ones is going to be needing a little bit of emergency. So I'm great. You guys' doors are always open.
Always.
Because we worry. We worry.
Yeah, I know. And we see horses and cattle and rabbits, ferrets, everything. So.
Versatile. It's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Always a pleasure to have you guys on the show.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, everyone, again, to learn more, you can visit ksbhc.org.